What's up, everybody? Okay, we are doing a very interesting way of playing Satisfactory here. I have a bunch of mods installed. Nothing that's going to make the game too easy, but stuff that is going to give me some extra build options and some quality of life things. And I thought, let's just do one from scratch here. So the only in-game um, advanced setting I have is flying, to make this a little easier, because this one's going to be all about just seeing what cool stuff we can build, right? So I've got a fresh map here with the mods installed. In fact, before we go any further, let's talk about the mods that I'm trying out here. So we have auto solid biofuel. We've got daisy chain everything, and I'll show you these as we go through. This one, it basically lets you daisy chain power between different things. I've got a sink here for liquids. We have this linear motion that I've never seen before, which I think is interesting. Some kind of elevator. So we're going to play with that. We'll see. I think that should be useful for vehicles. We've got the modular load balancers, which took me a little while. I've played around with this a little bit to understand it, but I think I've got the hang of it now. Satisfactory? Okay. We've got some mod load balancers here. We've got some extra structural solutions that I think look really pretty. We've got this throughput counter, which we're going to play around with that. We'll see what it gets us. X3 roads, I've played around with it a little bit. And so to accompany that, I've got the X3 signs on here as well. So those are the mods. So let's go ahead and let's just get started here. Now, I'm thinking... Let's see where we are. We don't really have the map yet, but I want to find a good spot here. And we're gonna fly around here. If this is the one that I think it is, if this is the starting spot that I think it is, I should say, there should be a good place over here. You can see we've got a bunch of nodes here we can tap, right? But there should be one around here somewhere. Actually, this is not a bad spot, right? We got all this, but I really want to find somewhere with water so that we can make it easier for the power later on, right? Actually, you know what? First thing right there. Let's let me open this one. Yeah. We'll grab that hard drive.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for future analysis, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Alright, so waterfall here. There's a bunch of water over here. This is good. Be a good spot. That'll help us, like I say, with our power needs for things like coal and stuff like that. This isn't actually the one I was hoping for, but it's good enough. I see a power slug. Let's just grab these things here.
This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving Fix-It production line efficiency. Store this potential resource for later use.
All right. Well, I'll do that then. Just trying to find the best option here. Also somewhere with a reasonable amount of space. It's not bad. Did I just check this one? See ya. I'm gonna follow him down here. Want to find a really nice spot close to water. with resources.
Potential edible collected. Reminder that look and smell alone do not provide sufficient data to determine exact risk of consumption. Just because it looks like you can eat it, does not mean it won't eat you. Store this
Well, that's
potential
fair.
resource for later use.
Alright, if I can't find the kind of thing I'm looking for, I'm just going to go with it. Oh, actually, this is exactly the one I was looking for. Fantastic. Look at this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 pure nodes, plus limestone and copper. This is a good starting spot. Alright, let's clear this out, though. This puts everything we need for the base elements real close to it. Alright, we will put... Let's put the hub up here, I think. Out of the way. Alright, let's do it. Can we fit it in there? I think we can. We'll clear those trees out when we get a chance. There we go. Alright, awesome. So here's some of those mods there, right? You can see some signs and stuff. We obviously need to start here with the base building. Oh, that's interesting. Look, the lookout tower's there too. That must be because of a mod. Alright. But, look, we got all these fantastic nodes right here. So let's just get some basic stuff going, right? Gotta clear this one off. Alright, so we'll clear them all while we're doing it, right? My bag's full? Why is it not letting me? That's odd. There we go. Man, he really wants to take a bite out of me, doesn't he? Odd that it doesn't... There you go. That's a pure node as well. Fantastic. This is going to keep us going for a long time. Okay, let's start building. I'm going to put one on each for now. Let's just get basic stuff flowing in there. Hello, No Good Nick. How you doing? Gotta build some power somewhere. Let's try and find a spot out of the way. And just expand upon it. You've been playing a lot of Satisfactory recently? Me too. I think I finally tipped over the 4,000 hour mark. Now, that's not 4,000 hours of active playing, because there is a couple of times I've let it go overnight to build up resources, but a lot of that, a lot of that is playing. I've been playing since the early pre-release because it was so awesome that it's like, oh my god, even the pre-release was so good. But yeah, not every single hour of that is, active. You started with 1.0. Hey, great place to start. It is 1.0 was such a massive shift from the pre-release versions in a good way. So how are you liking it? What do you think of it so far? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I love the freedom to just do whatever you want, build whatever you want. I don't know how many game saves I've got at this point. I have a game save of the 1.0 with no mods to get all the achievements, and I'm now building out that last, that last tier that has to go through just to complete everything. But I've completed all of the what you would call the tier unlocks, if you like, except for the last one. Unhooked from Path of Exile. Path of Exile. I liked Path of Exile. I gotta stop saying that. Path of Exile. But the thing that stopped me from playing it so much was those talent trees were just a nightmare to, like, oh my god. Beyond Phase 4, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so you're getting the good stuff, right? Yeah. I am let me show you. Hold on. So this is obviously a fresh save. But in my main game save, I am... all I've got is this one here. The last one, right? I've done everything and unlocked everything all the way through these up to this one here. That's, the one where you don't get anything new. You just build out the last one. Yeah. Oh, I have rebuilt my factories so many times, but it's part of the fun, right? That's why some of the mods that I've got on here are purely to give me new factory pieces, right? Like, let's see here. Let me show you. Let me show you. I don't know if you caught the beginning where I listed the mods that I've got in here, but I'll show you. So I have some of these I've used. X3 signs, a bunch of signs I've not used. X3 roads I have used. Super convenient for a quick road building. Let's see, all of these are all normal. These ones here that give you some really interesting structural beams to play with. So I've got those. This one here gives you a bunch of extra walls and stuff. Yeah, so let's go back. That's a mod in here. I gotta find it again. Hang on. Little does what it says, right? Or at least I think it will. I've not tried that one. Should tell me how effective I am at having everything built out and the flow rates and all of those kind of things. That's what I'm hoping for, right? But also with that, there's another one here later on. These ones look fun too. Some curved fences and so on, beams. But there is the one I've used before that I like too is this concrete one for some really fancy concrete stuff. But there is one here. I'll see if I can throw it. Yeah, here it is. It shows you a counter and a limiter, so you can sort of try and balance, which is always an interesting problem, right? As you probably found out yourself later on in those levels. This one too, this elevator kind of want to, yeah, like a valve for belts, that kind of thing, exactly. And that's what I'm hoping it is, because that's always my problem, is too much or too little. Invariably, it ends up being too much, and you know how it is, you're backed up. The one that always gets me is fuel for my drones, and it backs up, and my drones end up in the middle of nowhere because they run out of fuel because it's all been weird. Yeah. I've done nuclear. Nuclear is fun. The fun part is the waste that you get that you can't get rid of. However, compared to the pre-release version, you can now convert that waste into some other things, but I don't want to spoil it for you. But you're always left with something that you're like, what am I going to do with this, right? Nuclear power is the one that I leave until I absolutely need it, because I just feel like, oh my god, I got nuclear waste going to be laying around everywhere. A need for limiting belts? There is, depending on how you build. So, for example, in my main game save right now, I have this thing where, I need circuit boards for computers and some other things. But the problem is, at the moment, they are being mostly funneled. I use a splitter, and they're being mostly funneled into the wrong place. So, for me, being able to limit in any particular direction there and guide it to where I really need the most. That's a lot easier than turning things on and off or having to create multiple units, things like that. At least that's the plan. We are definitely going to test this out and see, but that is most definitely the plan. This one here is a cool mod. Let me show you this. Yeah, I know I'm doing a terrible job at explaining it. Once you see the problem later on, you'll be like, "Oh, I get it now." Is kind of how it goes. This auto solid biofuel processor is a mod. Now, a word of warning to everybody: if you use mods, you won't get the Steam unlocks if you're on Steam because you're essentially cheating, right? Let me show you how this works. This is cool. This is another thing. So the pre-release version, we didn't have this input like this. We had to feed these manually unless you used a mod. Oh, it was a nightmare, right? And I'm also obsessed with holding down the control key so that everything lays out like this. But let me show you this one. This one's cool, right? So you know how you collect leaves and wood and everything else, and normally what you have to do is you have to go over here and you have to go like, oh, okay, until I can automate this, I need to go in and convert these leaves and the wood and so on to biomass and so on and so on. This thing here is a one-stop shop, right? So I'll show you what I mean. I will make, let's see, what should we do here? Let's just do a very simple storage container with an output, right? We'll just put it there. Okay. Put it there like that. We will feed it into here. Now, all I got to do is put my leaves, basically any fuel source that gets converted. Yeah, it's like 3 constructors in one. It'll just, it's a smart one too. It'll figure it out. So you don't have to feed it one type of resource, right? I can feed it wood and biomass and leaves and all of that stuff. And I can just basically put it all in here. And as it goes in here, it's going to figure out what it's got, as you can see here, and convert whatever it is to solid biofuel all in one go. Great mod. Totally recommend that one. Yeah. Auto solid biofuel, it's called. This is a huge time saver. If you don't mind using mods, it's a huge time saver to get all this going there like that. All right. So let's get some power down to. Yeah, I tried very hard to not go through the mountain and so on, because whilst you can do it, this seems wrong, right? But so little time that wouldn't have to make a big difference in my playthrough. I understand. What I would recommend, this is just my opinion, to anybody, especially if you're coming at this game from a 1.0 perspective, play it without mods. Play it the straight up through. You will learn so much from doing that. And then once you've done that, or you feel like you've got a certain amount of the way through, and you think to yourself, all right, I want to turn some things on. Like I've got the flying on here, right? But I don't have that turned on in my main game. You will understand your play style and the problems you need to overcome. And you can say to yourself, okay, hey, should I start another map with some mods, or shall I just start another map and start over? Every time I do a playthrough, even without the mods, I learn something new that I screw up. And I'm like, okay, next time, don't do that. Like, for example, wherever possible, anytime you have a situation, like say this, for example, where it has the possibility to back up, put an auto sync on it. Get tickets from that extra material, and it keeps everything moving, because that way you're getting a bonus for keeping everything moving, and you're also not preventing something else from being manufactured or stuff like that. So auto syncs and overflow everywhere would be my suggestion. More curved buildings and more cabling options. I hope so too. That's why I do like some of the mods for that kind of stuff. Now, that said, if we go over here, let me just go back here. They did add some nice things to the base 1.0 that we didn't have in the pre-release versions. So you've got all the square stuff, right? And yeah, that's great, you know. But yes, you do want to have some more options. And that's why I've got some of these mods here to do things a little more interesting. But let me see if I can find some here to show you, because there are... The built-in ones do have, if I can find them. Hold on. There are some extra parts. Oh, sorry. It's going to be in the MAMP. The MAMP and the Fix-It shop. In the Fix-It shop and that now, there are some curved ones. So that's why it's also important to keep generating those tickets so you can buy those nice, interesting looking parts to make better, more interesting shapes, right? Okay, let's get on top of this. So we've got this going. What I do, I don't do anything too fancy at the beginning as far as building. I just get to that part where I'm like, okay, I've got maybe a really crappy looking design, but I've got everything building, right? I've got at least a level 1 construction of basic items that I need. One of the mods that I've got, now you may be aware that, you know, you've got this pole with 2 of 4, right? And you've connected to here. And now you can't connect anything to this. Well, one of the mods that I've got turned on here allows me to do 1 extra connection. So I can daisy chain those two like that. Which, you know, the only real benefit there, for the most part, is it's cosmetically more interesting looking, right? It's better. So, actually, that's not what I want. I built the wrong one. Hang on, sorry. I need a smelter. So we just, again, very quickly going to get basic 101 stuff going here. So that I'm at least generating some of the items that I need. Right, so that's that one. We're going to go do... So this one over here, for example, I could now link that building to there, right? If I put in some extra wires, which is what I'm going to do here. We're just going to link these very quickly, get this one powered up to start getting my limestone, right? And then again, let's put a constructor on this one very quickly, if I've got the resources, which it looks like I do. And I'm just holding down the control key so that everything snaps nicely, right? So that's going to make concrete. Again, I can daisy chain this one to there. So that's concrete being made, right? And then over here, again, this is my copper. So we can try and do something similar. I will need a smelter. I don't have everything I need yet. That's okay. We'll have to do this one manually a little bit. We're just going to run some cabling from there to there. Very messy at the beginning, right? Nick, I'm sure you've experienced this, right? Like, oh my God, this looks horrible, but it works. And that's the important part here, right? So this is going to start drilling. I just realized I got the graphics turned down really low. I do that sometimes when I'm streaming. Just keep the fan noise on the PC down. So I know it's not visually the most interesting thing, but it does help keep the fans down for streaming. Yeah. This is before Foundations. I have not unlocked anything yet. Correct. Yeah. So I am very much working on base building Foundations, right? I get now, yes, you could manually unlock them, of course, and put, you know, gather these resources manually, but it makes sense, right? You're going to be automating everything. So it just makes sense. Automate it now. It's gathering while you're doing other things, right? But this will give me, eventually this will give me enough for what I need for my foundations. So I'm just going to gather some of these resources. We're going to quickly manually make some of this stuff here. I don't like to build too much until I've got foundations unlocked, so that I can at least try and do a decent job at designing these. All right, let's put those in there. In my playthrough, I kept finding better and better places to build as I've been exploring. Yes, exploring is one of the cool things about this. What I've been doing lately is I will get new bases in better places. Absolutely. And, later on, one thing to consider, I'm trying not to give any spoilers to anybody here, is you can use trucks and trains and drones to connect all of those bases together and transport stuff around, right? There's two lines of thought on this. You have people that build the mega base, which is kind of what I had been doing in the past. Or, yeah, drones and some small trains. There you go. Awesome. Or building specialized areas. Like in my main game, one of my games at the moment, I have an area that builds just computers and everything it needs to build those computers and the advanced supercomputers, and that's just a modular thing unto itself. The good thing about that too is when you have those multiple bases, like you say, or the multiple factories, um, you get to experiment with different designs for each one as well, right? Quartz oscillator plant. Oh, there you go. Wow. Yeah. See? Yeah, perfect. And Lord knows you're going to need a lot of those. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can finish this. Hey, this guy NZ. Welcome to the Ting Tings. Might be able to build more manufacturers, maybe up to 50. Yeah. That, when you get up there, that's when you're like, ooh, I need more power. So how are you doing your power at the moment? How's it going, this guy NZ? How you doing, buddy? We're starting a new map here with some mods. Just this one is just for the fun of what can we build? Yeah. Ah, turbo fuel. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll do it. All right. My favorite one at the moment is definitely the crude oil as far as returns. But you do, yeah, the crude oil and coal. The advantage to coal is you can use the coal, of course, for other things. But crude oil, I feel, is the best return without going nuclear, because you can have, you get the plastic plus the I'm blanking. Plastic and rubber, which of course you also need for a whole bunch of things, right? What you been up to, this guy, NZ? How's your weekend been, buddy? Folks, this guy NZ is I'm going to embarrass him. He's making awesome games, so you should follow him if you're curious about game making at all. Go follow him. Busy with family and cousins. Oh, dude, from Thailand. Nice. Yeah. Get him to lend you a holiday home, right? All right, let's go get some of this. We're getting there. We are close to our unlock. Now, while we're doing that, I'm going to gather some more of this stuff. early stages here, it's important to make sure you've always got enough electricity. There was in the pre-release, when I was playing the pre-release one with some mods, there was actually a mod for turbines for air power, and that, which I'd like to see more options like that built into the game. Um, you know, just for the fun. Solar energy was another one that I had a mod for. Oh, there you go. Go to Tahiti, right? Who wouldn't do that, right? Now, one of the reasons that I really like this spot, I'm going to show you. I'll go down here, right? So we've got copper, a whole mountain of iron. We have limestone. If I go down here, let's go along here. I can't open that one yet. Yep. And the reason I like that spot is because if I go over here, I've got more copper, but more importantly, 2 coal there, and more iron over here, but 2 coal, which means I can connect here for coal plants with water to make power to my main factory, which would be right there. It's a great spot. Now also over here, I'm going to let you into a little sneak peek here. All of this you can do without flying, by the way. I'm just flying for the convenience because I've done all this like a million times before. But over here, not only is there a place with I was saying about crude oil, so there's a place for crude oil, and you can obviously get plastic and rubber and crude oil for making fuel. But there is also, I think it's over there actually. Hang on, let me go over here. There's also the SAM ore. So, I mean, you really have everything you need here. And I'll get there eventually. Oh, it's taking too long. Okay, I'm just going to go back for now. Trust me, it's there. Promise you. Yeah. Get back to the base over here. Someday, any day, sometime soon. Be good. Yeah. So this spot really truly has everything. And Caterium. It has Caterium as well. Word of warning, though. It also has a lot of very angry animals. So don't just go running around without some kind of weapon. Would be my recommendation. This guy NZ, I was working with Unreal Engine yesterday. Getting a little bit closer to understanding custom animations for my character. Yeah, it was a lot harder to understand than I thought it was going to be. Well, the good news is, now that I understand it, turns out it's actually pretty similar to Unity. If you use a state engine. For folks who don't know what we're talking about, there's some game development engines. I make, professionally, I make apps, and for fun, I make games. Mostly because nobody pays for them, so that's why I say it's fun. One other thing to note over here, while we were talking about resources, I'll just show you again why this is such an awesome spot. Is just down here somewhere. If I can find it. There it is. This is sulfur. We'll just pick up a couple.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state, and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate fixit helmets are of such high quality. Store this potential resource for later use.
And then over here, if I can find it, it is here, I promise. I may have gone a little too far. Hang on, but I do see. There's one. Nope, can't open that one yet. There's also, like I say, Caterium. But I can't see it for the trees, as the joke goes. It's there. Oh, look, look. And a Mercer Sphere.
The astrobiologist Dr. D.M. Mercer was the first to recognize the presence and probable nature of these alien artifacts. These chain-melted state spheres are named in his honor. Each sphere emits a unique signal and will require study to determine local application, store it for later use. Unknown metal collected. This metallic element is showing properties similar to those in Group 11 on the periodic table, such as high conductivity and malleability. Store this potential resource for later use.
Don't give me none of that Group 11 stuff. Cut some of this wood. Okay, there we go. Awesome, let's do it. Let's unlock.
Milestone reached. Several new structures are now available for improving factory organization. Foundations provide a building grid, which makes it easier to manage placement of any structure. In the event that you are experiencing amnesia for all events prior to planetfall, be reassured that memories of beloved humans and/or animals would have only been distractions from your important mission.
So they say, right? We know better. We know better. Don't trust a company. Never trust a company, right? I want to get concrete. I want to go just straight to the concrete, which is going to be great because I only need 100 of those. I'm not going to use the normal foundations in that. I'm just going to go straight to the concrete because that's the way I roll. This guy NZ, I'll probably do a development stream later. I was going to do one Friday night, but I ended up doing a bunch of just chilling, hanging out with the wife, watching some television and stuff. Oh yeah, today. Sorry, yeah, today. Later on today. Yeah, I forgot. It is Sunday for me. Monday for you, Sunday for me. Yeah, I just was feeling a little burned out this week from, you know, it's that thing of some weeks you're like, I think I've done enough software development in the day job that I just need a break. But I really want to, I got something I want to ship and it's as good as finished and I've just been procrastinating. And so if I get on stream, you can all give me a hard time and force me to do what I know to be the right thing. Yeah. Yeah, you know, yeah, deal. There you go. Redeem shipping. It's tough, folks. You know. I can't remember how many years now I've been doing software development professionally and stuff, and you just get to a point where you're like, okay, that's it for the day. Even though you know that you want to get on a stream and have some fun with everybody, but you're not feeling it. You should just let yourself chill. Which is also why I play Satisfactory. It's very relaxing. And it sounds like No Good Nick has also been doing the right thing, which is like, I'm going to rebuild my factory because I can, right? Yeah, exactly. You're like, nah. You know, I don't need building permits. Yeah, that's what I do. I have my, you know, like this part here. I have the ugly one that makes the stuff while I'm making the pretty ones. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then one day it's like, okay, if I'm going to close the old one down, that's what I'll do. But I have the ugly one that makes the stuff. But we're gonna you'll see some of the mod stuff here in a minute once I get this done. Go back to my old factory. I see crazy stuff like the smelter ratio. Yeah, 1-to-1 miner to smelter. Yeah, yeah. Believe me. And then it's you when I do it. It's normally surrounded by a bunch of other stuff that's dependent upon it. And so you're like, well, I can't just turn this thing off. Oh yeah, yeah. No floor foundations. Yeah, those conveyor belts that go up and down the hills. Been there. Trust me. Or sometimes you're like, nope, going straight through that mountain. Only I'm gonna know. Believe me, if you could see some of my mess, it's like, ah. But, like I say, the goal is I don't have just one game save, like, period. Each one is for a particular thing, right? So I have one for experimenting with stuff. Um, and then I have the main one, like I say, at the moment for the 1.0, which is to get all of my unlocks in, the achievements in Steam, right? So that one is pure. And that one can be as ugly as it needs to be to just get it finished, right? Yeah, the clipping thing. Oh, yeah. Working on getting turbo motors, production line, a Mark III miners. Oh, yeah. When you get the Mark III, they step up. Those turbo motors, if I may offer a little bit of advice, keep making as many as you can forever. Believe me, those things will keep coming up over and over again. Because I learned early on when I started playing. You make something and you're like, oh, well, surely I don't need to make those anymore. So you dismantle the stuff, and then 2 unlocks later, you're like, oh, crap, I wish I kept that. Okay, here we go. All right, now let's go back to that one. So now that we've got this, right, the reason I like the concrete one, I'll show you, is I got to make some concrete here. But I also like to have everything on the hotbars here. Everything here, I know, you're going to be like, Peter, that was so obvious. But everything here only requires concrete. Super easy, right? Like, hey, we were talking about the curved blocks. Look, there's one right there, right? But it only requires concrete. Okay, I tell a lie. Some of them do. Some of the stuff, like the walls with doors and so on, do need iron. But so it's like, great. If I just keep making as much concrete as I can build pretty fancy looking stuff with all this, right? I'm just getting rid of these new labels because they drive me crazy. One day I'm going to convince this guy NZ to play this, and we'll jump on a multiplayer map together with some of our other streaming friends, and we'll just see what we can create. Yeah. All right, come on. These new labels just drive me nuts, especially when you got something like this and there's like a million things. I need to be able to see the bit so I know what I want. Yeah, look, this has domes and other weird shapes that are just like, oh, that's fun. All right. But the one I want to start with here, very basic, 8x8x1, right? I'm gonna tag that on my bar right there. And then I'm gonna build out some. I'm in 2 minds. I've done this before where I built a platform out all the way across here. And I've done another one where I dropped it down. Don't have time. If I started playing this, the bug. Yeah, I know, buddy. Trust me, I know. My self-discipline on this. Actually, for me, it'll be once I get that final set of unlocks, I'll be able to relax a bit on this because it's like, great. I've completed everything in 1.0. That's fantastic, Um, I think what I'm going to do, I can't decide. I like to try and do something different every time. I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Up here, I will build the basic smelters and constructors for all of the ores into their first level component, ingots and so on. That's what I'm going to do. So let's just trying to decide where I'm going to do this. We'll do it here. All right, we'll start there. Whatever I do, 5 minutes from now, I'm going to regret it. Absolutely every time, right? But I got to commit to something. So this is what I'm committing to. See, concrete's just got a nice surface to it. And it's also impossible to put concrete down the wrong way, so. Now, while that's going, though, let's build a constructor. Right, actually, we're just going to build one because it's not going to live very long here. This is just... Did I line that up badly? I really did, didn't I? Wow. Let me, let's have another go at that. We can do better. That'll be better. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay. Oops, wrong one. I should do this while I'm here. Ting ting. That'll do. That'll do. Oh, I've done it again. Yep. That is all I need here. And this one will just be creating plates, iron plate for me. That is fine. Lord knows I'm never going to have enough. So there we go. I'm going to deal with this guy because he just seems to just really want to have a go at me. So let's go have a conversation with him. Come on, buddy. Come on. Give it your best shot. You're not going to charge me? Okay. Yeah.
Samples of new alien species acquired. Notable features are blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous, and a thickly plated skull and spine, suggesting it is proficient at inflicting and receiving blunt force trauma. Preserve the remains for later study.
No good, Nick. Yes, sir. Yes, I am. I am a I am part of the whole community. You know, you've seen some of our other streamers that I hang out with, right? But yes, no, and I also do it professionally. I am an engineering manager for different teams. We make Android, iOS, React Native apps, but my specialty in the background there is iOS, Apple platforms, Swift, all that stuff. Hence the Compile Swift name is probably what you know me as best. Yeah. When I'm hanging out on the other channels and stuff, and the podcast and all that fun stuff. Yeah, that's me. Guilty. Is the community more present on Blue Sky or Mastodon? You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I was listening earlier today to the latest Core Intuition podcast, and I don't know if people may know who that is or not. If you don't and you listen to podcasts, check it out. And this came up because some interesting stats they quoted. I have found Mastodon by far has okay, gotcha. Yeah, they were talking about this. Mastodon by far has more developers on it for sure. Definitely, obviously, in my area, the Swift Apple development kind of thing. However, Blue Sky is growing rapidly. They quoted a couple of stats from some website that analyzes social traffic on things like that. So take it for what it's worth. But this was fascinating. So Blue Sky last year had like 1 million users, something like that. And I use both, I want to be clear. But Mastodon is by far the most popular for developers. However, like I say, think about these numbers. Last year, Blue Sky had about 1 million users. This year, it has jumped dramatically. And Blue Sky apparently now has something like 12 million, 13 million users, something like that. Interestingly, by comparison, Mastodon, that's been around longer and definitely the one you hear about more, apparently only has something like 7.5 million, something like that. But a larger proportion of that is developers by comparison to Blue Sky. I use both, but I'm definitely more engaged on Mastodon because, yes, that's just where more people are. So I hope that answers the question. And if you go to compile, yeah, no worries. And if you're interested in following me on any of those, if you're crazy enough, just go to compileswift.com and you'll find all the links. Yeah, I definitely use them more to, posting wise. I have stuff for posting about the podcast and all that kind of thing. There's a few people that I interact with, but I'm definitely not a huge user of them, just because I just don't have a lot of time, to be honest. Well, that's a good sign, actually, right? If you haven't reinstalled them since you got your new phone, that probably tells you what you need to know right there, right? I use an app called, let me look this up. This is an interesting thing. I use an app called Croissant, and it enables me to post a Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Threads. But it only posts. It doesn't show me people's posts, so it's a good way to not get distracted by it. Threads is another one. I would say Threads is probably more popular for developers than developers hanging out than Blue Sky. But who knows? Maybe Blue Sky is going the other way around. Maybe that's now becoming a thing. Honestly, the place and this is not, I'm not saying this to promote this, but the place that I spend most of my time now is on our Dev Club Discord. Not only so I can respond to all the folks on there in case they need any help or any questions or anything, but also just because, a lot of the time it's like, okay, I just want to look in one place, I belong to some Slacks and I keep an eye on those, but it's almost impossible to keep up with everything these days. So I just chose, you know what? I'm going with our Discord since I was one of the co-creators, co-founders of the Dev Club Discord, and we have decent, good, awesome folks on there, and so it's a fun place to hang out. I don't have to worry about any drama, you know. Plus, it tells me when everybody's streaming, which is another awesome thing. Folks like Nuttify and Coco Type and this guy NZ, they all hang out on there. Adam Wolf hangs out on there. All good people. Does help if I make the wire, doesn't it? Took a break from coding 4 years ago and slowly getting back into it. I actually think it's a really good thing to take a break, honestly. I wish I could. I wish I could go on a really long vacation. But yeah, 50Y is still not as great into React. Yeah, that's a 50-50 question. And this is just my opinion, of course. As I use both professionally, I would say it depends on what you're trying to make. There are still definitely issues with SwiftUI. Naturally, it's still pretty early in its life cycle, right? You definitely have the freedom to do exactly what you want, however you want, with React or in my case, React Native. But it does come with problems, depending again on what kind of apps you're trying to build, is what I would say. If you are using, if you are building apps that really rely super heavily on hardware features of phones, which is, yep, that's exactly what I do. Then, yes, React Native does cause me some really big headaches. Okay, Web React. Okay, yeah, no, I love Web React. I use it myself. My CompileSwift.com, and in fact, actually, my PeterWhittam.com, both. So they're actually using Astro, but under the hood, Astro uses, among other things, React. So, I literally build React components and boom, away they go. So for the web, I really like React. That's just my 2 cents. It lets me do exactly what I want to do as quickly as I need to do it. And, whilst it's not CSS, I can draw from my extensive many years of web background before all the cool stuff was invented. Yeah. You can use normal React for building mobile apps, by the way, if you want to. It is a thing, but strongly recommended to go with React Native. Not that different, really. It really isn't. In fact, if you learn one, you pretty much know the other. It's kind of how it works. No, not in a web view. There are compilers out there that'll transpile it across. You could do it in a web view, of course. That is one option. Plenty of people do that. I'm not a big fan of having apps in web views though, because again, depending on what you're building, somewhere along the way it might bite you in the butt for something. It's happened to me numerous times in my teams. But again, your experience may vary, right? Depending on what you need. I'm also very wary that one day, in my case, like Apple, will follow through on their, um, the thing of like, we really don't think we should be having web app wrappers in the store, and that kind of worries me, obviously, since I don't really want to lose my day job. Compile.js web reacting to UIKit or Swift UI without a web view, that sounds highly suspicious to me. Right. Well, actually, there are some tools, like I say, out there that do a good job. Um, Under the hood, for example, right? React Native is transpiling, um, like exactly like you said, right? JavaScript, HTML, all of that webby stuff. It is transpiling it across to native components for whatever the platform is, Android, iOS. That is what it's doing under the hood. Probably what the other ones that are just using normal React are doing the same thing, I would hope. But if you are literally just wrapping a website in a wrapper, be it React or whatever for the website, and you're just wrapping that in a wrapper and putting it in the store, um, I would say you run the potential of problems, and I would say that I think there's some performance hits there, right, as well. But that's like I say, those are just my opinions. I don't have scientific data to back it up, but I do have apps that are heavily dependent upon performance. Let's put it that way. And so that's why, it's like, okay, we're going with native technologies, squeeze every ounce of performance that we can because we need it. Probably doesn't apply for a lot of folks. Boy, this seems so slow, doesn't it? It's like, come on, give me those super cool builds. Oh, we're getting there, I promise. Okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to make life easy on ourselves here. Let's just add another one, right? This one will make iron rods. Problem's going to be, yeah, I don't have my splitter yet. That's what I'm hoping to unlock with the logistics. So what we're going to do is do this. We will dismantle that belt. Plug that one into there for now. Let's have it make some iron rods for us, right? Oh, wrong one. Let's put that in there. Let's go and stay on top of some of these other things here. Do we almost have enough for a smelter over there? Not quite. While that's doing that, let's continue to build this out a little bit. I want to try and make this look somewhat reasonable though, so I don't like having that gap, for example. Right? Let's just get rid of that gap. Because if anyone's going to fall down that gap, it's going to be me. Yeah. Okay. It'll be me, but I'll be taking this guy NZ with me. Because it's worse when you make your own gaps in your own game and you still fall down them, right? This guy? Not pointing any fingers. we make fun of him because he's making his game and it's awesome. But he never quite mastered his own jump mechanism. The mechanism's good. It's just the user that's doing it. I know he's doing it to test that Fred comes along and saves him, but sometimes we wonder. Math is hard, right? Math and gravity. Or as I say when I put my English accent on, I'm like, dang you, gravity! Life was doing just fine until gravity came along. Alright, we're almost there. Then things will get a lot quicker here, hopefully. Let me see this thing over here. Look at this, right at the beginning of the game. Normally power's a problem, but this is just converting everything for me in one go. Oh, it's... Come on, two more. It does. It's just one. I like I say, the goal of this game save is to just build and have fun. So you know, that's why it's like, okay, I don't mind using some mods to alleviate some of the early pain here, right?
Milestone reached. Conveyor belts can now merge, split, and lift to save space and enhance the productivity of your factory. Fixit encourages you to consider investing in verticality when it comes to factory logistics. If you feel stressed by this complexity, imagine yourself on the shore of a vast and calm ocean. Breathe in, visualize all the people relying on you. The sea is made of billions of faces, each staring at you with hope and tears in their eyes. Breathe out, feel refreshed and focused on your duties.
Oh yeah, that helps me no end. Yeah. All right. Make me some copper ingots, please. Let's also put some storage on here. Good, those are the ones I want. Iron rods. Why is it that you never have enough iron rods? Doesn't matter how many you have. It's always like, you need 2 more. I just want to save myself the nightmare of having to. That'll do. It's only temporary. Okay, now let's fix this problem over here. Get rid of this. put this on our hotbar. We forgive you. It's okay. Thankfully, the internet doesn't judge people. Yeah, about that. Okay. We want a splitter. And I'm going to put that splitter right here. And hope. There we go. Now we can make both. Alright. Cool beans. Cool beans. You know, I wonder... Oh, I knew that was going to come along. I was literally about to say, I wonder if I need to look at power. I think we know the answer. Okay, can take the hint. Now, here's the other cool thing about that awesome mod, right? I'm going to put another one of these right here. In fact, do I have enough to make 3 of them? I do not. All right. And what I'm going to do, get rid of this one. I think you know what I'm going to do here, right? You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to very carefully line that up. I guess we saw that coming. There we go. Right. Instant doubling of power. Fantastic. Let's take that one off of there. Hook it into there. Chain that one to there. Wait to turn the power back on. Do it. Yeah. You know that sound, right? You're like, oh no. Was it me or was it him? There we go. It's terrible when like you, Nick, when you have multiple bases. I keep calling them bases. Multiple factories. And you're like, oh shoot. Which one just ran out of power? Oh, you've got them all on the same grid. Smart. Smart, smart, smart. Although, that also means when one goes down, everything's history. Everything's toast, right? Yes, the priority switches. Awesome. What a fantastic thing they put in there. Oh my gosh. I knew life before priority switches. That's how miserable my life was. Yeah. I gotta give me 1 second here. I gotta plug something in. All right. Laptop across the room was like, oh, I've got no power and my battery's flat. Oh, fix that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So, what was I doing? Oh, constructor. Yeah. More cable. All right. Needs more cable. Always something. Let's put, again, just one constructor on there. And have this one make wire for us because, yeah, why not? Okay. I'm not going to automate making screws yet because I want to build something decent here. I have like some standard patterns that I use. And since blueprints aren't available yet, we're going to build these manually, but you'll get to see what I do and then tell me why it's a terribly bad idea. Hey Nick, have you used the what I call the cloud storage yet for resources? That has just been such a game changer for me, especially when you're out exploring and you need something. Yeah, hell yeah. When you're out exploring and you find that hard drive and you're like, oh crap, I don't have that thing on me. But now it's like, thank goodness I've got some in the cloud. Yeah, felt that pain too many times. Okay, so this is very awkwardly placed right there. I'm gonna move this. Couldn't have chose a worse spot, right? Let's just move it. Let's move it there. Oh, no, that's gonna bug me, but okay, that's fine. That'll do. Is what I want to start doing here. Go to a new row on my hotbar. All right. So I need constructors there. Actually, I need smelters. Hang on, start again. Smelters and constructor. All right. So we're gonna start iron rods and wire. We're gonna build out one of my little patterns that I do here. Let's do the ting ting and use these. Makes me afraid to not die because all the slugs are in storage. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. When you're like, I can make that jump. Oh, I didn't make that jump. Oh, that's the edge of the cliff. Ooh, that was a big enemy. Yeah, those kind of things. Ooh, that was a lot of radiation. In some ways, I'm relieved to see that I'm not the only one that suffers these problems. I'd feel terrible if I was like the only person who ever did something silly like that. My other thing is forgetting that I've got run turned on, and I'm like, I'm just going to nudge to the edge of that cliff, and then you're like, oh shit. Do you recommend giving PoE another try? Yeah, okay, I will actually. RimWorld and Solaris I've not played, but I am more than happy to give Path of Exile another try. I can't remember how far I got into it. I felt like I put a few hours into it. You know, the only, like I say, the only thing, and maybe they've updated it since then, was the talent trees. And most of the time, I would just go find a build. I'd go find a build and copy it without knowing what the hell I was doing. But I'll absolutely give it another go for sure. It was a very decent game. Yeah, that's one where I'm like, I don't know. I'm just following a build. You know. Frameworks to learn about the mechanics. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will look into this thing. Yeah. That way it'll help break my addiction to Satisfactory. Right? And I can blame you. I should do a stream on it, right? I should just start. I should start again from scratch, which is probably what I would do since it's been so long. And I'll do a stream on it, and then be like, "Look, this is Nick's fault. He told me to do this, right? Don't blame me." Okay, so let's build some of these out. So what I do is I sort of build them like this. I'll show you, right? Let's give ourselves some decent space. I'm not going to make too many. When I have the blueprints, I normally do them in blocks of 6. But for now, I'm just going to do a block of 3 here. Right. Early public access is... Oh, sweet! Is it coming? I knew they were working on it. And obviously I was going to like, okay, I should go look when that comes out. That'd be cool. Okay, that I've heard people say nice things about it from what they've seen. So maybe this is a good time for me to get back into 1, ready to like, okay, let's go with 2. And also because I need to stop playing Warframe for a little while and wait for 1999 to come out on that. Yeah. Well, hey, we can try it and see, right? So now that I've got this, what I do is, let me go back here, right? I would put some splitters in here. This is kind of my my way that I do this, right? Need some more cable. All right. Do I have what I need? Yeah. The thing I like about things like Path of Exile and all those kind of things is you can just die, like Warframe as well. You can jump in for a while, jump out, right? Those kind of things. A couple of days, you got Satisfactory running on Nix OS. Oh, I got to hear more about that. I would love to run it. I'd love to put Linux on this laptop and run it on there. I've seen people running Satisfactory on... I have Parallels from Mac, but I can't get it to work. It installs everything. So what I mean by that is I install a Windows on Parallels for Mac. I install Satisfactory. It runs. I hear the game running, but all I get is a black screen. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it works for everybody but me, and it's so frustrating. I got a super powerful PC laptop, but it would be just convenient to have it on my Mac as well. It's Apple. It's a M1 Max, whatever it was. Yeah. It runs, but I don't get any graphics, just a black screen. Yeah, M1 Max. Yeah, I got an M1 Max 32 meg, so on, so on. It's running because I can hear the audio for the menu, but it's just a black screen every time. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but everybody but me has been able to get it to work. And it's not that I'd run it on there all the time. It's just like, oh, it's great to be able to, like, I got my Mac laptop, I'm wherever. Oh, let's play that for 5 minutes, right? You know what I mean? What have I done wrong here? Oh, I see what I've done wrong. Hang. I totally got those backwards. The game porting toolkit. Yeah, I should look into that for sure. You're not wrong. How did I get this so wrong? Okay, there we go. This is why I've got that load balancer mod in here to see if I can improve this later on. But I've got to unlock it first, right? So I got to go with these for now. But this is kind of my the way that I do this, right? This is those wires. So I sort of build them out in sets of 3 here, like this, right? And the reason I can do that is that essentially now I can. This is going to be very, very awkward here for a minute, right? I know. Nobody judge me. No, I'm already judging myself. Hang on. Let's just make this. This is a temporary part, I promise. But so I set them up like that, right? And then over here I put a merger, right? So we'd go something like this. Right, this is kind of my same thing. And so imagine that these can also be constructors or assemblers. This is kind of my standard pattern, right? So now I've got 3 of those there. Now, here's the thing, right? Let me show you a little. Remember earlier I was saying about how this always bites me. So I'm just going to go with 3 here to show this. I will put something on the end here. Since I don't have my smart splitter, if I had my smart splitter, I would have it set so that only overflow goes out through here. And then this would go into a sink where I'd be, you know, either I can take the overflow somewhere else for whatever, or I can just dump it into a sink, right? So that's how I solved that problem. I think actually I've been stupid here. Hang on. I've been stupid. Let me. I was talking away here and did this wrong. Hang on. What I meant to do. Let's see. Oh, this will be okay for now. Let's do that. I meant to do this. It meant to go from here. Right? Because, you know. That's what I meant to do. Ooh, that's a weird thing. Alright. Let's clear these out. Let's do that again. And then, as ugly as this is going to be for now, I know, we're just going to feed that back in there. But at least let's go over it, right? Look, right? At least it's not flipping. Nobody judge me. That's horrible, I know. But again, it'll get me into resources here. I'm going to build all the cool stuff down below. Believe me, if we both believe, then it becomes true. This is just get me some resources cooking. Don't judge me. Totally judging me. There we go.
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
She goes on, doesn't she? I do use the Arc browser. I've been using the Arc browser on the Mac since it was in whatever they want, pre-release. I still use it today. I'm using Safari as well, but I still use Arc because I like some of the features in there. I've tried it on Windows. I have it on this machine I'm using right now. But I'm not a big fan of it on Windows. That's interesting. If they put it on live, so well, to be fair to them, they did say up front, right? They had their goals, and they did say, "Hey, we may not get there." So they were upfront about it. If they're gonna take everything they learned from Arc and sort of, I don't want to say try again, start from it, take everything they learned and start another one, I would support that too. I actually supported them. I actually got some Arc stickers back when they were available for a limited period of time. Those, I don't know what you want to call them, hologram type stickers, because I wanted to support them because they were finally someone doing something different. Not for power users. That would be disappointing because I feel like the power of it is for power users. So that would be a shame. Yeah. My three primary browsers, not to sound like a Monty Python sketch, are Arc, Safari, and Firefox. And also, no good Nick, I'm sure you've been there yourself, right? When you develop web pages and stuff, you got to have more than one web browser to check them in, Okay, so Firefox does feel a bit slow to me as well. Yeah, it has good releases and bad releases. Yeah. Safari, I don't want to say I have a love-hate. I have a use, don't use for a while kind of thing. The primary reason I use it is just, now that I've got plugins on the iPad, it's convenient, right? I'll just say it's convenient. Yeah. You don't think you'll use it? Yeah, fair enough. I mean, hey, at least you got options, right? I'm trying to think. I didn't like Chrome on the iPad. Firefox, it was okay, I like Firefox on the desktop. I gotta be honest. It does feel a bit slow to me many times. And it's disappointing to hear about Arc. Yes, I've got Chrome installed and I've done Chromium and that. I don't know. Maybe it's time for me to go back to Brave for a little while. But my thing with Brave was there was that whole period where maybe they've stopped doing it now, but there was this theory that, like, hey, are they redirecting us in the background and doing stuff? I'll leave it at that. If you know, you know. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if it's true, but I did like the Brave browser until I heard that. Chrome's auto updater messes with Apple's Windows service. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I will say this. Chrome, I'm sure I'm not the first one either. Chrome on my Mac, oh my God, talk about consume resource. What a nightmare. I mostly, like I say, use them for like, okay, let's see how this would look to Chrome users and Firefox users and things like that, right? Because you kind of gotta, Well, you don't gotta, but you should if you're a web developer. You know, like they say, wait a week, another web browser will come out along with 10 other JavaScript frameworks, right? But yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like TypeScript. TypeScript was what made it possible for me to go back to, well, not go back, made it possible for me to tolerate React Native and React. It's like, give me TypeScript, okay. You know, at least I've got piping. Oh, let's have a look at this. Sluggish performance on my Mac running Monterey. The Windows server was constantly wow, 70 to 100% plus. Oh, that's interesting. I might try that. I'm going to take a look at that later on. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally understand. But I'm gonna run some before and after, and we'll see where that gets us. That is interesting. Yeah. I'm absolutely not sure if that was true back then or now. Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm gonna try it. Let the numbers speak for themselves, right? All right, so we need screws. We're gonna start automating some of this stuff here very soon. Just want to get enough basics unlocked, start trying to make something decent. And I did say try. Yeah, thank you, Neil Goodnick. Have a good one, my friend. Thank you for hanging out and chatting. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you for the tips. Go enjoy your lunch. Think do some Satisfactory. Yeah. Well, these are backing up pretty good here, right? Maybe I should make some more. All right, let's get these out the way. Okay, so that's going to get me those. Obstacle clearing should definitely be a thing. All right, you know what? We're not capitalizing enough on what we've got here. Let's do this. Let's take this even further here. We've got all these pure nodes sitting here. We should totally do something about this. And then we will improve these as time goes on.
Milestone reached. The assembler can produce more complex parts, including the first project part, smart plating, which is crucial for initiating project assembly. Project parts must be delivered to the space elevator. By completing your contracted duties as part of project assembly, you will definitely be helping achieve Fix-It Company goals without any other ulterior motive. Note: humans cannot craft project parts. Do not worry about your inadequate crafting skill when compared to an assembler. Fix-It cherishes your innate human abilities, such as walking, striking objects, and commodifying natural resources.
Gotta be a better place to put this, right? Well, that's as good as any. Alright, that should give us an absolute mountain once we hook up all these other ones over here later on. And we will replace all of these splitters with a smarter system as needed and as we get the updates. Okay, time to make a decision here. Do I start building down? I just feel like I do, right? So what we're going to do is we'll take our merger here eventually we'll hook into all of these. Not quite yet, but we're getting there. We can at least start building these. And I think what we're going to do, let's take a look. Got to be some options here, right? We have a concrete wall with a conveyor. It's a little awkward. That's okay. It's okay as long as it makes it. It does. Alright. And then let's bring this way down. Yeah, okay. This will work. Cool. We can actually keep the old one going and we'll hook it into the new system. Oops. Where am I getting there? I really want to get that maximum. Okay, I'm feeling the pinch here, so we're going to do this. We will make a temporary one here. Let's make some reinforced iron plate. We're just going to automate some screws because it's going to get to be a pain. Hello, buddy. There you go. Alright, don't know how low I need that to go, but I need it to go to at least there. Hey, Escamina, yes, this is a new map for a very specific purpose. I have a bunch of mods installed on this one that I want to play around with and see how good they are. So I thought, let's make a new map, turn on flying, and then just getting started here. So I haven't really got the mods yet unlocked that I want, but I'll show you all. Eagle Lord, thank you. 33 months? You crazy fool. Crazy. How you can fly and not using Mark IV transport. Ah, it's a secret sauce. Let me show you. I'll go through them here for you. So this map is specifically about have some fun with mods, see what we can do, right? So auto solid biofuel, it's just fantastic. Daisy chain everything enables you to have more than one connection. Actually, 2 connections is what I've got it set for. On any object. So, 2 connections to any machine, for example. I got a liquid sink as well that we're going to play around with. I've used that one before. Linear motion is interesting. Sounds interesting. It is an elevator for vehicles and other stuff. So that sounded fun. The modular load balancers, I now understand how they work. So I want to try and use them in this map. Extra structural stuff that you've probably seen me use before. This one is a counter that I believe allows me to also tweak distribution, right? So if I've got 3 outputs, I can make one stronger than the other and so on. And then the roads and the size seen before. So that's what this map is all about, is just build cool stuff, see what we can do with these. Yeah. Have you tried any blueprints? I've seen some sick ones, but I didn't try them before doing everything. So I've only used my own blueprints. I've never used anybody else's yet. This game's a lot different from wait, what does it say in my chats behind? Last time I played. Yeah, no, this is the 1.0 is quite different in a good way. But I do have a bunch of mods in here. But there is a lot of cool stuff in the 1.0 that I'm thoroughly enjoying. Yeah, I know what you meant. In other news, I have almost finished let me pull this up. My playthrough with no mods and no tweaks turned on to get my Steam achievements, right? I have done in my main game save for 1.0, I have unlocked everything except phase 4 that I am working on here, and I've unlocked about a third of phase 4 right now. Like I say, with no mods and everything, God, it's a lot. It's hard because I want to get the Steam achievements. So that's why I was like, okay, I feel like I'm good for playing with mods here, right? At least that's what I tell myself. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's what this map is all about. Let me show you some of these mods. So for example, there's the fluid sink, right? Foundation's not that one. This one here, S3 SS Concrete, has a whole bunch of extra build options like curves and so on. So I want to play with all of those. And some curved walls and all this cool stuff that's like, oh, hell yeah. So, keep your save separate as well. I mean, I'm not going to be able to resist using them. Exactly. Yes. So I do have to remember when I'm playing my main game save, get the achievements, I do have to remember to turn the mods off. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. But that's why I've got multiple game saves for the same reasons, right? Firstly, I just want to complete the game without, when I say complete the game, complete the unlocks with no extra bonus help, because I'm going to get the achievements and that satisfaction, there's the pun, from doing it, because I did it in the pre-release, right? And then building super cool looking shit That's what this one's for. Well, this one's playing with the mods, but basically that's what the mods are for. Yeah. And the sooner that I finish the one for the achievements and unlocking all the stuff, the sooner I can start the multiplayer